Hi Hudville and all the rest of you good people out there. I hope that you're all safe and sound and that health is with you. Regarding your question on making holes in a sheet metal part assembly using the input from one part in the other. Now, there are several ways of doing this, and I thought that I would go about to show them because there are some, well, pretty neat tricks. Well, no real tricks, just that if you know it, it will be easier. So we got two parts here. We got an assembly, those two parts in the assembly. We got the base plate and we got the pipe flange. And if I hide the base plate, we can see that we got three tabs on the pipe flange here that we would like to be reflected in the base plate as they are going to be assembled together. Now, there are several ways of doing that, and you got good information there from Dave and Frank, and I thought that I would just show it. So what you could do is just simply subtract one part from the other, and in the process create an associative interpart link. Now to do that, there is a prerequisite, and that is on the selection group menu bar, which makes it easier. You can do it manually, but you can also do it automatically. And if I click on the create interpart link, we will see what that will do for us. We can see that it's actually grayed out here because I got no process where that is available active currently, but we will soon change that. So we will do simply a subtract, but first we need the base plate to be the work part in this assembly. And simply by subtracting from the base plate here, which is now the work part, I will select a tool body, and you can see that this little guy here, create interpart, you can actually activate and deactivate. I activate it, which makes it possible to on the fly create that interpart link within this operation. Otherwise I would have to separately create a wave link. Now with the create interpart link active, I can now simply select the body from the other part there. And in this case, I'm not going to keep any of the tools or targets. Not going to keep any copy. And I'm just going to do an OK there. And just like that, I have created my holes. That makes it possible to mount these together. Now, they are obviously a little bit too small. It will be a tight fit here. So you would need to create an offset of those, if you like. So if we do that with a feature face, we check the feature, we have the subtract there. We're going to offset that not by 4, by let's say negative 0.1. And that will give us some clearance to the original there. Now to go back to see what that actually created in the base plate there, we can see that I created that linked body there, and that is kind of the secret. Pretty simple operation to do. And you can do it on the fly without doing the wavelink. Otherwise, you would have to do that separately ahead of doing the subtract. This does it in one go. Okay, let's reverse that. So simply when I have that on, subtract, make sure that I select the tool body and the target, ensure that the create interpart is on, and create. Not much more to it. Simple. Now, if you would like to keep this really a super clean sheet metal part, because you might be required to. We go to application and we do the sheet metal. Since this has been created as a tab, you could kind of guess that, well, maybe we want to create this as a proper sheet metal part, if you like, with sheet metal features, I should say. So the normal cutout would be an option there, and I will create it as a sketch, and we say that we will like it on the X and Y plane here, and that means we got the tab there. But what we need to do here is we need to project those curves. We want face edges. So I want the face edges of that guy, and that guy. And that should be all right. Now, as I said earlier, we do not want the tight fit. We actually want the what do you say? An offset to create the clearance here. And I'm going to create the clearance by 0.1. Here's another tip for you, and that is to make sure to convert these input curves to references. That means that as we create the cutout, those dot dashed curves will be excluded. It's the solid lines and curves that will be the actual cutout. And we finish that, and our cutout should be done once we hit OK. And we bring back the cutout as well. We make the top level work part, and we can see that we have the clearance there. Now, there are two ways for you to create your sheet metal part there. I'm not quite sure why you're having the issues that you had there. Maybe it's that one part is actually a sheet metal, or sorry, it's sheet and not solids. And that might be the case why you cannot kind of subtract. Well, I kind of suspect anyway. Nevertheless, a couple of tips and tricks there for you to help you in your future endeavors. And with that, I'm going to wish you a good day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are. Over and out from Fred. Bye for now.